The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn, and today to talk about the full moon coming up on December 7th, could be the 8th, depending on where you're located. But this is a significant moon, a full moon in Gemini, and it's the last one of 2022. But it really is going to bring together what we've been feeling. And there's been a lot. There has been a lot of focus this year on self-care, and that continues because I really feel that 2022 is a year that is really amped it up to prepare us for 2023. Obviously, each year does that. But we are really right in the heart of a huge energy shift, vibrational shift, dimensional shift. Everything is just shifting. When you look at things from a spiritual perspective, we feel it. It's nothing that you actually see, but you can feel it. You might feel differently about things. You might be going through a spiritual awakening, and from what I'm understanding and seeing and hearing back from you, there's a lot of people going through another spiritual awakening, or you're going through one and just everything just feels so differently. This particular moon is really going to help us with releasing those things that just don't fit anymore. All full moons are about releasement, and if you feel the energies and the different frequencies and nuances of this natural occurrence that happens all the time, with the universe, you're tapping into that. You're going to embrace that. We're also going to look at what angels are saying, and as far as the encouragement they've been giving. They're very, very available. They want to help us. They don't do it for us, but they are very much about encouraging us to not give up on ourselves and to see these perspectives about ourselves that we may not like as part of who we are. I found some enlightening concepts with this. I've been thinking deep on this topic, and a part of myself has been feeling this shift too. Like, we all feel it, but my point is I'm feeling like I'm going through something different too, like a shift, a transition. So I've been through them before. I recognize it as, oh, here we go again. We're going through another, and I call it leveling up. It's more of an awareness. You kind of feel like you go deep. And sometimes it feels sad. Sometimes you feel like you're having trouble letting go of something, and then you realize, no, this is just part of how we move forward. So I know that we're all going through different things. My focus is to share, what I'm connecting with and seeing and understanding. I don't try to share something I don't understand, but like I said, I'm going through it too. I'm trying to go through it with you, and at the same time bring you some insights and things that I've found that are helpful. I like looking at the astrology and then working with the angels together, because angels are divine beings and they are a gift. They are there to be helpers for humans, and to help us, to help Earth, to help the animals, all of it. I truly believe that. They have been there for me my whole life. I don't know what I'd do without them. And there's been times where it's been very tough and you feel like, why is this happening? Because those are part of our human emotions. So let me dive into this. We are in the busy season, so if you are listening on archive, I want to welcome each and every one of you to the show. So here we go. I want everyone to know, whether you're with us or not in the live, you are part of our family. And I do want to welcome everyone that does have the time and a busy schedule these days to join us during the shows. It usually does get quiet, but we also know that I'm noticing that when it's this time of year, we have a lot of downloads in the archives, because everybody's got to listen to things when they can. So I do want to welcome everyone that is there. Hello and good morning to you. Feels like something's hanging on you. Sending love to you. Feel like something's hanging on me. I've been feeling the weight. Actually, very good perception. I'm okay. I'm feeling the weight of why I'm here as a healer. I'm feeling the weight of love for you guys and what I can do to keep people encouraged, because I'm very much a worker with the angelic realm. That's my team. And I think you're feeling that. I feel the shift too. And sometimes we don't know what's coming up, but I think this topic here today is going to help you feel what I'm talking about, because we all can sometimes feel like we're second guessing ourselves, or am I making a difference? Does anybody care? Yes, actually a lot of people do. I know I do. I'm not the only one, but if you are a light worker, if you are in a place where you are always trying to encourage and it feels like nothing's working, it is. It's where it tests you to see where your faith and belief is, I guess. But I'm actually okay. And thank you for that. Thank you. Hanging on me. Thank you for sending the love. See, I love this team that shows up. That meant a lot to me. Thank you. That's the most valuable thing I could ever have somebody give me right now. Because yes, lots of things are going on. So I'm very touched by this topic, and I was in prayer right before we started. So let me get into this. So first of all, let's talk about Gemini for a minute, just to refresh everyone. Gemini in astrology represents the twins. It's represented by the twins. It reminds us of the importance of balancing both sides of us. For example, we have a human side and a soul side. We have a spiritual side that lives on forever, and then we have this human side of us that's going to die one day. That's temporary, right? We're in this physical realm. So we have two sides to us. And Gemini, full moon, it's the energy of balancing both of those sides. Do we have both of those sides participating in our life? Okay, I mean, do we feel connected to both, or is it feeling lopsided? And it will also remind us of what we're putting our energy and our thoughts on. I mean, how much energy is going into something that's absolutely draining you, not getting anywhere? What are we doing here? And then sometimes we feel like it's very difficult to let go. We feel like we have to hold it on. Empaths, I know you can feel that way sometimes. And this moon can kind of fire up the energy in those areas to really bring it to the surface, because full moons are about releasing. So this is really good. So I love this affirmation that I came up with. Wrote this yesterday, actually. I balance my human and soul sides equally. I balance my human and soul sides equally. I honor my boundaries, and therefore I flourish. That's the affirmation that I've written for this one. This is a powerful full moon. It's 1 week before. Today's December 1st while we're airing this live. So this is on December 7th, 8th that is coming in a week. A week out is about when I usually start to feel these types of strong energies coming in. So this is a good timing for you to know what's coming up if you might be feeling this. So let's go into this a little bit, because this is a good one. Okay, we know it's going to come on December 7, 8. This one, it can feel heated, it could feel charged, because it could be, conjuring up those deep things inside of us that can just feel intense, or like, oh no, I know I have to deal with this. It's kind of scary. And this is really going to help us. And this is where the angels can come in. And Michael, definitely, if that fear, that stress, the anxiety is coming in, you have to bring that in. You have to know that they are there to help you and walk with you and kind of give you those nudges where you need to take some action and give you the courage. It might be that you just want the courage, and the essence of an angel with the courage. That would be Archangel Ariel, of course. But Michael is fearless as well. So if there's any fears. And one more thing before I keep going. Super important while we're going through some vulnerable, emotional, maybe some triggering times while we're working through some things. Daily clearing and daily cord cutting, I think, would probably be one of the most important things you could do right now, because you can feel it. You can wake up and feel great, and then all of a sudden you just seem like you're super sensitive to things. Spiritual awakenings very much can do that. So even though you may have been on the spiritual path for years and you've been through a spiritual awakening, you could be going through a reawakening, is what I would call it. I have felt that recently, and I feel that it's taking me to levels of growth and more awareness because we continue to grow. So that's the way I see it. That's what it feels like to me. So you might be feeling that. But if you feel like it's weighing you down, you want to cut cords. You want to cut the cords that are weighing you down. Because what is going on with law of attraction? What we focus our energy on. That's one of the spiritual laws. What we focus on, what we believe in, what we actually are. So they all connect, they all go together. So I wanted to remind everyone of that. And here's the thing that can get tricky. Sometimes we have to cut cords to loved ones. That doesn't mean you're cutting them out of your life. It means you're cutting that energy that's affecting you in a negative way. That's all. You still keep the connections and the detachment, you're not detaching from them physically. It's helping you to not process energy that you don't need to be processing. Just a good reminder on energy healing, energy connections. And when we start to get in over our head and other things are affecting us so much, we're losing who we are. There's no power in that. So that's a good reminder. All right, let's keep going, because this can feel a little sensitive when it comes around. So this won't be as intense as the blood moon eclipse we just had in November, but it could trigger and reignite some of the things we were feeling then. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So being represented by the twins, one's mortal, one's immortal. Okay, we have this both sides of our being. We're both human and we're both spirit, or we're soul. Okay, that's the thing. That's the key message here. Remembering both. Remembering both. There is a part of us that will keep going after we live out this physical life. So if we had a unity and a connection between our human selves and our spiritual selves, that's what this Gemini full moon's theme is. It's about balancing those two aspects of ourselves. So you might find that you need to be patient with your human side. You need to respect it. You might find that you have these feelings, that you feel like you're making mistakes, that it doesn't always know which way to go or what to do. It's honoring and realizing, I'm human. We're human. Yeah, we're human. All of us are human. I'm not even going to try to say that I can do everything, right? No. You do what you do. You do your best. And here's the thing. It might feel like, oh no, that was a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. On the soul side, the soul doesn't see it that way. The soul sees there are no mistakes. That's just part of the journey. That's part of how we grow and learn. I know, but then there's this side of us, right? This human side of us that's saying, yeah, but I feel that, and I'm kind of upset about it. And now the anger is kicking in, and you have to not deny those sides of you. We are human, living a spiritual experience. So this one is interesting because it's bringing it up, and we've heard about all of this before, but I feel like this one, we will feel it and see it a little clearly. There we go. We'll see it more clearly on what they mean by that, what is going on here. So we're going to have to work to honor and respect our spiritual side too. So there's two sides here. Our spirit knows there's no wrong turns. We have no regrets. There's no mistakes. And that just seems so opposite of how our human side can feel sometimes. So it's acknowledging it not feeling like you're doing something wrong when you feel those emotions. Spirit knows it's a learning journey where the human side is like, okay, now I've got to get through this. This is a challenge. But when we can work with them together and have that intention, and then we ask those angels, hey, you know what? I really want this balance here. I think that a lot of what a lot of us have been feeling, and this is just something that I think is happening, I'm not sure, it feels like this to me, is we're starting to see how one is imbalanced to the other, and we're learning, oh, okay, if you're just totally spiritual and you never acknowledge your human side, that's not balanced either. We didn't come here to do that, did we? We came here to be in a human experience, but we're spiritual beings. It's both. It's both. Our human side and our spirit side, they don't always work in harmony, and it can be challenging, but we can also learn and understand from the different perspectives. So, and here's another way you can look at it. I mean, our human side, it, wants those necessities met, like food, shelter, finance to pay for things. The soul self is like, whatever brings me joy. So we hear that, we go, oh, I want that job that that spiritual side of us wants the joy. And our human side says, yeah, but we have to have something to eat and a place to live. Right? See, that's a very good example of how it can feel. And we all feel that. Of course we do. And the soul side of us needs to follow the joy. Okay? So we do want that as well. So it's working together with that. Our human side wants, stability. It wants to be healthy and healing. Our soul knows that's temporary and we're already healed. This is just a temporary experience. You see, but we are here. So if you were completely on the spiritual side of things, and we're putting some logic into this now, if you were completely like, oh, okay, I can just be like that, I personally don't see that being logically stable, because you have to take care of yourself in this physical realm too, right? I know, see, this is what's going on. So I can hear you guys thinking out there. Oh my gosh, I can hear you thinking, because I know I've been thinking deep on this one too. I think that might be what you were feeling was hanging of, because I was thinking deep on this topic. It was like, it's so, yeah, that's it. So if our human side needs this stability, and here we are trying to find the balance between, we have this joy, we want this manifesting, we want this spiritual ascension, we want to live in 5D and not be afraid of all these things. That's that spiritual side of us, knowing that that's all there. And okay, how do we bring that into our physical world, right? This full moon brings us the opportunity to help us get things out of the way that are blocking it up. Because yes, full moons are always about releasing, but what is in the way? We need to know what's in the way to get it out of the way. Right? Yeah, I know. Michael is here with me very strong, if you haven't noticed, because he can be very assertive, and I can start to feel him going, and he's kind of doing the pep rally thing again. But he's so fearless, and he gets excited for all of us when we just want to get back on that horse, and we want to keep going and, pull ourselves up from the bootstraps, and like, I just got knocked over and I just got that wind knocked out of me, but you know what? I'm back up and I'm going to keep going. That is inspirational in its own right. You want to acknowledge that you're doing that too. Do you realize how strong you are to still be here in this race? To actually have chosen to be here at this time? Yes, we have to acknowledge that. So no matter what's coming up now, no matter what's coming up for you under this moon, you're looking for how you can honor your spiritual side, and your human side. So that would be, allowing you to feel, acknowledge the different emotions or the different things that are going on, even though they may or may not be great. So you can release them or find solutions or answers. So This is about, connecting with all these aspects of yourself. Because the spiritual side can be absolutely an amazing, I want to be in the joy, I want to be in that. It can also be a very easy way to escape, because we don't want to deal with what's going on the physical human side, and we have to do that. We have to do both. So the goal is bringing in that strength of our spiritual side that knows there is no end, really. We're just in this temporary situation, and giving us that courage and helping us with that connection with our angels, guides, and the support that we have to find the solutions in a take action way in our physical life. So that right there is a good way to look at that. So you want to listen to what these different sides have to say. You want to listen to that higher nudge that you're feeling deep. You want to find what will help me balance this out. Which way am I leaning too far? Am I avoiding my spiritual side? Probably not if you're listening to this show. It might be a little bit of the opposite, actually. So if you feel heated, if you feel a fiery charge to the energy around this, Mars is going to be present in this, and it's also retrograde, so it can amplify that energy. But it's a planet of motivation, action, and energy, and it can feel, in retrograde, it can feel like it's holding you up. But it wants you to challenge and question your motivations, your actions. Where are you putting your energy? Is it really where you want to be? Is it really where you want to be? So our energy is a beautiful resource. It's valuable. You don't want it drained all the time. No, you don't want it to be gone. You don't want it to feel like you're wasting your energy on things, on relationships, behaviors, beliefs, whatever is the drain. It could be anything. It could just be any of it. Which ones are they? Which ones are they for you? Which ones can you like say, you know what, this just is not getting me anywhere. Let me just move on and get this out of the way. Mars being present can make you feel heated. It can make it feel charged and a little more like impatient to do something about it, or even agitate. But it's hard sometimes to keep those emotions in balance. So it's absolutely part of human nature to feel angry, or to feel heated emotions, or to feel sadness, or to feel all those other ones that we call a negative emotion or lower frequency. That's part of a human experience. We have to accept that that's part of who we are. But it's how we're processing it and how we don't hold it that our spiritual side of us can help us balance that out, and we can move through it. And they're not easy sometimes. Sometimes we have to get these things out. We have to get it off our chest. We have to find ways to move that energy out and on. We may find that we lost control a little bit, and we may have said something that we wish we hadn't. Then fess up to that, own it, and apologize for it, and accept it, and also forgive yourself. But look at what you were saying when you said that in that heated moment. Was it really how you felt? It was just really delivered in a, well, I guess a Mars way. The delivery, was it a little much? That's because it was so pent up, and that energy just had fire behind it, you see? I'm not condoning just go and attack everybody. I'm not saying that. No. I'm saying it's part of a human nature to feel these things. We have to know that we can have all these different types of feelings. We can have the positives. We can have the joys. We can have the sadness. But the spiritual side of us can bring in, if we allow that side to show us, well, what are the parts of you that you enjoy? You can bring that in to help it balance, but you also have to let go of these things that are upsetting. If something has charged you that intensely, what in the world is it? Where can we give ourselves permission to, okay, that's just how I feel about it, and move on. Now, here's another thing that can be an eye-opener when it comes to this. We talk a lot in spiritual stuff that we want to be our true selves. Isn't this being our true self? We're accepting both sides. That's true. You may not want to be upset about something, but it's upsetting you. So that means there's a place to heal. There, on a spiritual side, that's taking you to a place like, well, that is a place that I need to heal and I need to work through. I don't want it to affect me like that anymore. When we go there and listen to why it's doing that within ourselves, then we can express ourselves and maybe just say, maybe it's a boundary. This is about boundaries too. We have to honor boundaries. If we're letting our boundaries just get stomped all over, of course it's going to get repressed and you're going to feel that. This energy can make you feel like, gosh, I don't know. You know, I don't want to feel like this. But at the same time, we got to honor our boundaries. One of the things that I think is a really great exercise, if you feel some of the draining emotions or toxicity around certain environments. It could be environments, it could be groups, it could be people, it could just be topics, it could be the focus of an energy. If it's not working for you, why are you still around it? You have to ask yourself that. And you're like, well, I don't want to ruffle the, you're trying to keep the peace. And sometimes keeping the peace is wearing you out. There's a human side to you that this is affecting. It's like a slow draining battery that doesn't recharge. We have to look at that. We may not want to be the one that causes the upset, but sometimes we just have to stand up for ourselves. And yeah, it feels a little weird to go the opposite direction of a crowd. Trust me, I know that. I do that all the time. I pretty much have done that my whole life. I'm not one to follow, oh, this is popular, let's go do that. If it doesn't resonate with me, I'm not going to do it. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. A lot of times we go, oh, well, this is the way everybody's, it's working this way for everybody else, let's go try that. Okay, if it works for you, go for it. There's not a right or a wrong. But if you're doing it and it's not, why? That's my point. For a lot of you, it might be fine. For others, maybe you're more of a, I personally like to find my own pathways. That's just how I am. I always have been. And so for a lot of people, they're like, what is that? That's, but that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying to you is find what works for you. And if it's not the popular choice, why are you second guessing that? That's what you want to ask yourself. Why can't I be like that? Yeah, I know. These are things that when you have being true to yourself, being honest with yourself, and then you have that spiritual side, the joy, the creativity, this incredible way we ascend and grow and learn comes from that spiritual side. Yes, that connection. And we want that connection. We crave it. And then we have this human side. And I'm not saying the whole human side is horrible. I'm saying, but there are challenges living in that human life. And they're just real. They're absolutely real. And we're feeling them. And what can I do? What can you do? These are the things that I'm talking about. So I know we're going into this deep, but these are challenging things and I like this kind of depth. It might be too much for somebody else, but this is where you find answers. It's like, you don't want to be so, no, I don't want to do that. That's too complicated. No, this is where you find and dig in and you actually empower yourself. You find what fits and works for you. You absolutely do. You absolutely do. Like right now, I'm getting really excited about talking about this because I'm very passionate about the depth of this topic, because this is where I personally feel that it grows. So I'm sharing with you the energy of what I find works. So you have to be real, like, why is this upsetting me? Why does that make me feel sad? Why does that make me feel like this? And then I'm great by myself, or I'm great over here. You like I said, some people are going to be group oriented, some people are not. Some people are going to be, and sometimes when you're on a spiritual awakening, you can feel like you want a little bit more of that by yourself time. And then there'll be back and forth. But the goal is a balanced soul-human connection. That's it. I'm talking about a lot of different things, and everybody's going to have a different measure to that. And you're the one that knows what that is. You're the one that knows what that is. Now, Neptune is also another active planet under this full moon. So, and that's the intuition planet. So that's where you'll be finding, okay, I'm really going to connect with that intuitive side. That's the spiritual side. That'll help you on that side. You want to trust those instincts that you're picking up. What intuition, what is coming through that feels and resonates with you? And self-care is going to be top priority here again. Self-care has been a main topic the whole time, but if we don't have that in place, that is how you help the world. That is when you are helping you, and then you feel balanced. And then when we can go out there when things are challenging, and we can have a strong, anchored, grounded response to things, and we can take action when we need to, then we can also pull back and restore and be on our spiritual side, and we have that balance. That is probably one of the best gifts that any of us can give the world. Not making sure that it's all good over there and then you have whatever's left for you. That's just, you know, we were able to get away with that for a bit in humanity, but I don't think that's going to work so much moving forward. And it seems more and more that way. I'm seeing it more and more. I see so many people that they're big leaders, or they're here or they're there, and then they got to take breaks. I got to take breaks. You've got to take breaks. There's a human side that needs the balance with the spiritual side. And when we go to our spiritual side, that's a little bit more like going inward and having some time to yourself. And then we're out there in the world. But if you don't have both, it feels incomplete. And that's what this moon is, a juggle. This moon is going to show us that it's a balance between the two, not too much one way or the other. And that sometimes goes against the grain of what we may have been brought up with in belief systems. It should only be one way or the other and deny all of the other. I don't feel that way, and that's not what I'm picking up. And when I asked the angels about this, I asked Michael, and they just said this is how we shine through this spiritual side. That's how they can come through and help humanity when we are helping ourselves, and we're working with them in tandem, and we're working in tandem with those sides of us in a balance. Now the world is moving in a direction that can be in a completely different way. We are seeing a lot of turmoil, turnover, resistance, you name it, it's out there. Yes, because that all has to get coughed up to go away. And it will continue to do that. But we don't want it to take us out. We don't want it to wear us out and discourage us and then feel hopeless, like there's nothing we can do. What we can do is balance these two sides, because when we have a balance there, now when we are in our human side, we can take action. We can process feelings that we feel like, yeah, that upsets me. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that. Or that's wonderful. Or whatever those feelings are. They're human. They're part of who you are. And they don't have to be bad. They just have to be processed in a healthy way, or we have to accept that we're human and we're going to feel things. Then we're going to see where, no, I want to feel that spiritual side. Absolutely, go in there and do that. Sometimes the best thing in the world you can do to reconnect with your joy side, if you're feeling depleted that way, is whatever is fun. Something you've always wanted to do that doesn't have an attachment to it. For example, you've always wanted to learn how to play a piano or something. Has nothing to do with making money from it. Has nothing to do with making sure you post it everywhere on your social medias. to show that you're doing something cool. I mean, you can, not to be negative about that, but I'm just saying, when I need my joy time, I'm pretty quiet about it. I don't put it out there everywhere. That's just me. Others might feel that way, and then there's other people that they want to share every 5 minutes of their life. That's fine too. That's where they enjoy. That's fine. But not all of us feel that way. But when you are doing something that is just something you want to do because it's enjoyable, you have to practice that sometimes. It doesn't have to have an outcome. Sometimes we get lost in that, okay, it needs to make money so I can enjoy it. No, that doesn't work that way. It actually doesn't with law of attraction. It doesn't work that way at all. So you have to find different things like that. So it is a juggle, but it's not impossible. And Michael was the strongest one that came in for this one today. He's reminding me to remind you again, do a daily clearing, do a cord cutting. And when I say cord cutting, some people are like, what is that? I'm talking about energetic cords. This is more of a visualization or a description of something you don't see, but you absolutely feel. A cord is very obvious if you're feeling drained when you're in a certain environment, situation, or around something. It could be just a topic. It could be you read something, it's a topic that upsets you. It could be the energy of someone else, and they're not trying to do it to you, but it drains you. Honestly, you have to look at, where do I need to limit that and where do I need to cut that? Now, when we have loved ones that can happen to, we might live in the same household, or we might, have close friends or family, and nobody's trying to do that because we all have our individual things. You can cut those individual cords of what's draining. It might be that personal opinion they have about something that you don't. Okay, they're entitled to theirs, but you're also entitled to yours. It's a cord cutting. And so it's more of a just close your eyes. And the way I do it is I close my eyes and I ask Michael to help me with his awesome, awesome sword, and help me and I just visualize cutting an energetic cord between me and that, whatever that thought form is or whatever it is that's causing it. And it doesn't cut it from the person, it just cuts the energetic cord of what's triggering you. I hope you can hear what I'm saying. You're cutting what's triggering you. Because in every person, even if this was an individual or a group belief or whatever, there's souls there too. And we don't know what their balance between human and soul is. They may be in an off balance as well. You're working on yours, not theirs. So you're just disconnecting from the part that's affecting yours. It's a good reminder. He was very adamant about let's get back down to the basics, remind. So yes, he is drilling that into my head to remind you, to remind me, to remind you. I know. And that's what he does. That's how he works with me. It's very pep rally-like. His energy is very strong when it comes through. It's very assertive. It's very fearless. It's very outspoken. It does have an Aries quality to it, like, let's just do this. And it gets me going. It gets me excited, like, okay, I feel like I got some strength in my corner. That's bringing in the essence of an angel and what they can help you with. So let's go for a different example. Let's say you were going through a health challenge. Okay, health challenge. Raphael is fantastic for that. Michael is too. And I would work with both of those in tandem, because sometimes a health challenge can be frightening, depending on what it is. And we don't want to be focused in that fear. We don't want to be afraid, because we want to be able to take action and do something. Raphael, on the other hand, can give very gentle nudges, and it's very calm. It's not as assertive as Michael. Michael brings in that courage to just let's go. And Raphael can bring in a very comforting, soothing, gentle, why don't we try changing up your diet? Why don't we try backing off of this for a bit? Why don't we try walking a little bit? Whatever it might be that you need to do. Okay, I'm giving general examples here. And he could it'll repeat. It'll be like, well, yeah, that'd be good. Well, if you're in a rut or you're in a habit and then you don't get to it, then the first thing you could do is change up your day. Like if you always do things in a certain order when you wake up in the morning, change the order. Sometimes that's all it does. It's all you got to do to change it up, to throw something else in there and just, get it going in a different direction. It helps get out of the rut, and it can help. And these are the things that I'm feeling to share with you from Raphael. He goes, just look for those little change-ups that don't seem too overwhelming and easy to slip in here and there during your day, and it can start to build on that and work and take you in a direction you want to go. I thought that was kind of cool. It's not like, oh, okay, that's it, go extreme. It wasn't that way at all. It was more gently nudge yourself into different patterns throughout the day. I love that. Because how many times is it so hard, like, oh, I need to start working out. Okay, I'll start tomorrow morning. And then you can't get to it. And then, so if you took that, it's too late now. It's already passed. Well, what if you had 5 or 10 minutes in the afternoon? 5 or 10 minutes, that's not bad. Oh, okay, I can do a couple of minutes of something, or I can do that. And it starts to just break down that rut that's causing the cycle that you can't get out of. That's what he's strongly suggesting that I'm sharing with you. And that's what he's telling me to tell you again. Yes. So Michael's being very assertive and fearless, and nope, let's cut the cords, clear your energy, put your shields up. Remember that. And these are just visualizations that you do, and it puts that energetic intention out there to protect yourself. You have to protect your energy. Your energy is a valuable source. You need it. If it's always drained, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. You're not going to be that light out in the world that you visualize that you could be as a light worker or whatever it is you do. We're not doing anything here if we're drained. So we have to do whatever we need to do to restore. So say your challenge is finance. That's out there in the news all the time right now. Say it's that. What can we do with that? Well, first we have to cut, obviously Michael comes in again, we're cutting cords of feeling the fear, feeling like, oh no, feeling that pit. We have to find a way to cut the cord of feeling that. And then, Raphael, again, he's a healer of all things. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be health, it can be finance, it can be mental, it can be relationship, whatever needs healing in general. Okay, well, I could start with $5 over here and save it. Or, I could tweak what I'm doing and I could change it from this to this, and you look for ways you can do it. You look for ways. For example, and this will sound crazy, but I'll give you a good example what we do. Over here in this household, we do a lot of, we do the organic growing because we're plant-based. So I have two organic gardens that 60 pods of hydroponics that does all my herbs and salads and peppers and tomatoes and all of that. And then we have gardens outside, but we do have year-round that we do inside. But I also buy a lot of grain. I buy bulk of the beans, like lentils and chickpeas and all of that. And the reason we've started to do this, we've started to cut back. We've started to find ways that we can help live the healthy life we want and put the effort in and show that universe the intention of what we want. So I mill my own flour. We make our own bread, including daily sandwich bread. And we do all these things. We make all these things. Then when you see all these prices going up and you're like, oh, inflation's hitting. We do like oat milks and plant-based milks, and they're getting expensive. Now we're making our own oat milk. It's not that hard. Nope, I make it straight from the oat groat. It's basically just go out with assertion like, we don't want to sacrifice the health and self-care that we have put in place. So how can we do this as we go through these times? And we have gone through and found all these different things that we're doing now. In fact, it's actually better. So I've always been about homegrown and make it from scratch. That's part of me that has always been there from very young. Very, very young. I've loved just getting all the way down into how you make things. So these are examples of we took action because we needed to figure out, okay, how are we going to do this with the way things are going here and keep a healthy lifestyle? Well, that's what I'm saying. That's an example of how I asked the angels. I was like, okay, how can we do this? What can I learn to do? I had no problem putting in the effort. If you show the universe you're going to put the effort in, it's going to be there for you. And I'm just giving you examples of what I'm doing. You can do it other ways, but I've never felt better because I'm staying active. I'm staying active doing all these things, but I'm also providing my family with healthy food too. I don't want it to be, anything less than that. So I put that intention out. I was like, hey, how can we do this? What can we do? Can we do something else ourselves? What else can we do? How can we help? And that is what I'm talking about. That's an example of what we're doing. So yeah, we are busy every day, very busy between doing all of that and doing what we do here. And this is like, I'm coming in and doing, this is my joy and my love for you. But what can you do? What can you do for yourself to where now you feel good, you have joy, that's raised your frequency, and now when you're out and about around people, that's what you can give them. How can you have that balance? So we've gone over a lot of topics. I want to say hello to everyone in the chat today. Hello, and see how everybody's doing. Hi guys, how are you? Let's see, we have Journey to Becoming Me. and Mashasha 757. Hello, hello. Michelle, hello. And Life Coach Megan, hello to you. Let's see here. Journey to Becoming Me. I had asked you a question earlier. Let's see. Well, to be clear, you are making a huge difference in this world by being you. Thank you for being you. Even if you aren't actively doing, you have a precious space you carry with you. And the space you carry with you allows others to also feel the space they carry and therefore elevate the energy of this world. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. And yes, I feel like what I love is our group energy here. You know, we're just, it's just quaint, and I love it. And I've got great plans that I'm working on. And like I said, I'm keeping it quiet because I'm still waiting on things to finish. There's some things in beta that I'm waiting to not be in beta so it'll work properly. But there's good energy. You like-minded, balanced support. When you can support what I feel here with the group that we have that shows up regularly, and any of you guys that are listening on archive, if you ever want to join us, please do. I've got where it's Jenn Royster on the YouTube. That's how you can find the live. I've got the live in my website on the show page. So if you're listening on archive and you want to join in this energy, it's amazing. But here's the thing. There's no drain. Now, I never feel drained by my crowd like this. There's been times where I've felt drained, but it's usually more in different settings. But this group is supportive of one another. And that's the beautiful part of what I'm seeing here. That is probably the biggest blessing I've ever seen happen just from being here all these years, every week. Well, mostly every week. We've had some interesting surprises lately. Yes, and I want everyone to know you matter. Each and every one of you matter. And I know that you go away from here and we're keeping ourselves in the game with the support. And the angels are always here with us. They're here, they're with you after we leave the show and you go about your day. So But I want the group to grow. I want a place where you don't have to worry about things going on everywhere else, or naysayers or anything else. So I'm working it out. Let me just say, I'm so excited. I want to tell you about it, but I can't yet. Not yet. I gotta wait. I know. I'm looking at January, February for that. So while we're going through a holiday season, and while we're getting ready to go through this full moon, and we have this human side, and we have this spiritual side to us, and we have, okay, how can I get them to balance? And when you go to that human side that's feeling life right now, and you go, oh, okay, I don't want to keep. You want to look at the part, and it's weird, but you want to look at what's draining you, and sometimes you got to limit that exposure a little bit till you can get that practice of cord cutting and practice of, okay, where am I just giving, and it's not working here? Am I doing it because I feel like I have? This is another one. Listen up. Am I doing this because I feel like I have to? And I committed to it at one point, and now it doesn't feel like that's where I need to be anymore, but I'm still doing it, and you're going, oh, okay, I got to go do this. And that's not really where you are anymore. How can you make that shift and change? Where is your energy? Your energy is going somewhere if you don't have any more, right? That's important. These are things that the universe is having all of us look at. All of us, including me. Yes, all of us. What are we doing here? What can we do differently? Why does it not feel right anymore? The choices that you may have made years ago, a while ago, even maybe the beginning of this year, why didn't that work out? Maybe it needs to shift again. Maybe you have awakened again. Maybe it's taking you to another level. There's things to see. That's where the spiritual side of us can feel sometimes in conflict with the human side, because here we are. Human side has this limited time we're here. So we need to get this thing done, right? That's that urgency. And the spiritual side of us is like, there is no end. It goes forever. There's infinity. It's just part of it. And there's no right. And you're going, no, wait. I've already been here for so many years, and I don't know how many more I got. Yeah, there's a balancing act there that is unique to you. And I'm not saying you'll know the answer like in 5 minutes. Some of the tips are reminding you, and what Michael and Raphael have brought to our attention today. Look for the parts that drain you the most, whether it's an activity, group. Is it what you're choosing to watch on television or read? Anything, person, whatever it is. Something, that's what you're looking for first. These are the things that are blocking you and pulling you down. That's what you want to release with a full moon here. And you can start now, because you should start to be feeling it about now. It usually is about a week out and then a week after, and it's intense on the full moon day. And then you're looking for cutting those cords daily. You might go to work feeling great and come back feeling exhausted. Cut cords. That should be something you take 5 to 10 minutes to do every day. You may have to do it in the evenings. You may have to do it twice a day. You might need to do a little bit more shielding if you're feeling a little super sensitive to some topics. Spiritual awakenings, that's one of your biggest clues right there. If you're going through a new one or a shift in one, or it's, an upgrade, whatever you want to call it, our first one, you'll be more sensitive to things that never bothered you before. That's a clue, a big one. Things that used to be you were fine with, you tolerated, they didn't bother you. Now you just can't even be 5 minutes around it. It's not right or wrong, whatever it was. If it's, you know, it's not about what somebody else is doing or what a group or whatever, or the belief. You might be questioning all your beliefs now. You might be going, I don't know if I believe anything I used to believe. That is really listening and tuning in with your soul. Because you have to know it's okay to question, is this something I believe because I was told to do that, or is this how I truly feel? You have to know where you are, whatever that might be. And then if you are working to connect with angels and spirit guides and everything else, and you're feeling like you're in a vulnerable place right now, you want to shield up, you want to be real specific that you only want divine angels or, you know, whatever that would be to help you. You got to be real clear with that. Just because if you're in a vulnerable state, or if you have a lot of fear going on, that's lower frequency that can attract mischievous entities, and you don't want that. And they can happen, but don't do that. Just don't worry about that. Just clear out and say, Michael, just shield me, cut all cords. I don't want any of that kind of connection before you even try to connect. And then you'll know you're fine. That's the way to do it. That's the safe way to work with your intuition and your spiritual connections. So you know that when you hear or you're picking up something, you don't have to second guess it. And if you did pick up something, even after all that, and you're not sure, or you feel like something's telling you something you're not sure, you absolutely can question them and ask for their ID. It's like yeah, you think, oh, you're Michael? Okay, can you show me your Archangel Michael ID? I need to know it's you. You can do that. They expect you to do that. I feel like that is you being empowered, and you know where you are, and you are being real clear. You're not playing around with any of that. You're not messing around with that stuff that's going to drain you anymore. The drain can come from that, and it can come from just environments with other people here that it might be affecting you. If you're feeling sensitive to something, pay attention to what that is. Go learn to cut the cord to that. Not actually, it's not even about the person. It's more about the energy of what's upsetting you. Just a reminder. And then Raphael, just a reminder again before we close, Raphael is absolutely going to be a gentle nudging, consistent message of some steps you can take. Remember, you're looking for little things that you could do that don't feel like impossible, that you could change up in your day. Just change it up a little bit and start there. You would be surprised how powerful that can be. That can make the biggest difference. Absolutely make the biggest difference. I want everyone to know that I feel that the angels have brought a great message today. I feel that we have opportunity with the universe here to really level up, balance our lives, human and soul, and really shine out there. We can shine, we can feel strong, no matter what we're going through. We can find our way through it. And we have to remember and appreciate how far we have come. We have to appreciate those sides of us that might not like what's going on. We have to acknowledge those sides of us. And we have to know that everything has a possibility. Law of attraction is very real. The angels are very real. There is nonstop encouragement. We have that spiritual side and that connection that can help us fuel our human side, working together, but not denying or ignoring that side. That's including the sides of our self that you may not like very much. There's usually a self-critic in there, or a part of us that we don't like anymore. Why not? What is it about that side that bothers you so much? And these are questions to ask yourself. And then you're looking for that part where, how can I bring that side that troubles me so much into a light that can shine and really flourish and actually be an asset, not a complaint? You can make and change everything that's a complaint to an asset. And that would be law of attraction. Everything's an asset, not a complaint, not a not an issue. So it's really shifting it in an energy dynamics. So we went over a lot today, so download this episode if you need to listen to certain parts of it again, because we're talking about quite a bit and it's deep stuff, but I absolutely love that kind of stuff. So that's what you're going to hear on this show, because I want to give you everything that I absolutely can, that I'm passionate about, that I love, that has helped me, and I'm hoping that it can help you. And if parts of it help you and parts of it don't, take what works and leave the rest. If none of it works, then move on. Another show topic or something else will help you. But just know that the universe has something there for each and every one of us. You have answers inside you. You have a part of you, that human side of you. It's important to acknowledge it. It's important. And we've talked about that ego side and spiritual side and soul side, because it just needs to feel secure and safe. You know, that human side of us needs to know we're going to be okay. And it runs programs, basically. You know, it reminds me of computers, and it runs programs, and we can go find different ones that will upgrade it and make it better. But when they work together, that's when you're a whole complete person. To me, that's a whole completeness. You have your joy and you can meet your responsibilities. I know. That sounds like the perfect world, right? There's always a juggling act. So there's always some growth opportunity. There's always some shift. So with that said, I want to wish each and every one of you much love, a good burst of positive energy to help you find the answers you're looking for while we go through this shift and transition, because I really feel that this is all getting us ready for next year, and that could have a few surprises. But we're growing, we're ascending, we're moving into a new, complete, everything different, because we're in a great big shift right now. So don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on the universe or the angels. They're there, and we're all here, and you're still here. So thank you for being here, and thank you for going through this journey with me and the rest of us together. Much love to all of you, and I'll see you next time on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www.jennroyster.com.